Although number one isn't on the line today, another extremely talented teenager has her sights set on the top rung. 18-year-old Gabriela Sabatini of Argentina, the world's fifth-ranking player, overcame a mammoth semifinal struggle against the fighting Zina Garrison to get a shot at the $60,000 top prize and a chance to inch closer to the top. In her way, the diamond of women's tennis, 33-year-old Chris Evert, who has pushed aside all the youngsters on her way for her 9th shot at this great event's top prize. It's the finals of the Virginia Slims of Los Angeles from Manhattan Beach, California. Next on Prime Ticket. It's a hot one here in Manhattan Beach, California. The air temperature is pleasant at 82 degrees, the breeze coming in off the Pacific Ocean. But down here at courtside, it's 107 and climbing. So all in all, the heat could be a factor in the battles today. Hello again, everybody. This is Mike Walden. This week-long $300,000 tournament has featured 3 of the top 5 women's players in the world. And today's singles finals comes down to this. Number 3, Chris Evert versus number 5, Gabriela Sabatini. And then in the most exciting match of this tournament, Sabatini outlasted Zina Garrison in 3 sets in a match that took almost 3 hours. It's up to the finals and time to call in our Prime Ticket tennis commentator, Vic Braden.
Well, I got to tell you, a great match because you got an 18-year-old big top spinner who moves well. She's been in a ton of finals. You got a flat hitter and a veteran, Chris Evert. Both of them volley well, but basically they only go to the net to get the check.
All right.
So that's the way the match is going to go from the baseline.
Uh-huh.
Well, I don't think it really matters to great players, frankly. I think they'll just get out there and beat each other's brains out if they could. No one in pro tennis is interested in coming in second in a field of 2.
No, that is true. She did play, has played well in this tournament, but she has had problems, too, with her service.
Well, but she's always had problems with her service since she was about 11 years old. But she also has a house full of money and trophies.
Yeah, and there's no doubt about that.
Not going to be a matchup between ground strokes or serves. It's going to be mental. I think Sabatini having a rough match last night, probably only having 14 hours really to recover, and now Chris being rested after playing yesterday afternoon and well adjusted to the heat. So we may see Sabatini getting a little tired out here, but other than that, it should be a great match.
Here, Gabriela Sabatini. Chris Evert, 21 Grand Slam titles to her credit. And a great credit to the game of tennis she has been in her 16 years as a pro. 33 years old, 5'6", 125, now living in Boca Raton.
Yeah, Chris has been playing well all week. She hasn't struggled at all with anyone.
She hasn't lost a set in singles competition.
No, let's see, the first round, Evert routinely 2-2. Then Haley Chaffee, 2-0. Patty Fendick, she lost to Patty in the doubles, but beat her in the singles, 6-4, 6-love. And then yesterday against Stephanie Rahe, her concentration wavered a little bit, but other than that, she was pretty true to form yesterday.
And Chris Evert will be up against the 18-year-old from Buenos Aires, Argentina, Gabriela Sabatini. Some predict that eventually, despite Steffi Graf and others, Sabatini will be number 1 in the world in tennis. She's 5'11", 130 pounds, and she just turned 18 in May, so a great future lies in store for her. And here's how Sabatini was able to make it into this championship round against Chris Evert. Sabatini had a tougher time than Chris.
Yeah, it looks like she struggled a little bit in the first round with Wendy White, 7-5 in the second set. And then beating British player Sarah Goma. Her stand's about 6'2", a good serve and volleyer, 2-4. And then Ann Minner, another player who's from Australia who's come along really strong this year, 2-4. And then last night, finally, the big match against Zina Garrison on her 7th match point. Gabriela finally being victorious at 7-5 in the 3rd.
And the crowd still buzzing about that match against Garrison last night. It was great drama. These two are no strangers to one another. They have played before.
Yeah, and funny enough, Sabatini winning the only time they played this year, 6-1, 7-5, and that was on cement, but a much slower surface than they're playing on today. This court here at Manhattan Beach is quite fast. And the other 4 times, 4 of them were on clay. Chris winning 5 out of the 6 times that they have met.
Okay. You've been waiting for them, and here they come. Vic Braden and his picks.
Well, I give everything practically to Chris Evert. Forehand Evert. Backhand to Evert. Serve to Evert, if you can believe that. Service return, I call it even. Net play, I call it even. Foot speed, both are fast. I give it even. Intangibles, that means the match is going to go to Chris Evert.
Chris Evert to serve. Play.
Evert will serve to Gabriela Sabatini to get it underway. This place is jam-packed. Almost wound up on the lap of one of the photographers.
Quite an angle there by Sabatini. She loves to hit that forehand cross court. Smart shot to play against Chris Evert.
My prediction is that we're going to see a lot of long rallies today. That's out. So Chris is down love 30 on her service to start this championship finale. Point that you made yesterday, and why was the fact that Chris is always a slow starter.
It's funny. I think she doesn't like to serve first. It's not her forte, and I think the times that I've played her, she always chooses to receive.
15-30.
In fact, I remember one time playing her in South Africa, and I chose to receive instead of serve, and she was thrown off by that, and I ended up breaking her the first game.
Really?
Yeah.
On the line. Love 40. Well, so far, Sabatini is the steadier of the two.
When I watched Sabatini practice before the match today, her coach was making her hit a lot of high looping balls from side to side. So I think her strategy is going to be try to pull Chris to use all the court from one banner to the next.
15-40, Chris Evert. Starts off quickly, breaking Chris Evert's serve.
I think that might be right, Mike.
Okay. Well, let's see what Chris Evert can do now against the service of Gabriela Sabatini. Gabriela didn't have great velocity on her service last night against Zina Garrison. With a rare appearance at the net, and she pays for it.
Sabatini coming to the net. Chris not hitting a great shot. Tries the cute little drop volley. Chris with that court speed.
Court
hits the ball
speed
for a winner.
Court speed and court savvy too. She didn't panic. Put it right where she wanted. didn't want that. 15 all. She hitting the lines. That's Sabatini tattooing the paint on both sides.
Well, that's the ball that she wants to hit to Chris's backhand, that high floater that's going to be above Chris's shoulders to make her hit up on the ball. Chris likes the ball low, but with the top spin that Sabatini hits, it makes it really difficult for Chris to get any power behind the ball.
Almost sounded like a miss hit on Sabatini's serve. 30 all. Had Chris running from side to side. Chris is in great shape, no doubt about that, but that's got to take a little something out of you.
For once, we saw Chris Evert. Nice wind up by Sabatini. A lot of heavy topspin, and Chris going down the line. Sabatini looping it again, and Chris here goes for the winner down the line, which she rarely does, Vic Braden. She usually throws up all cross court. She took a chance, and it did not pay off.
Gabriela to love over Chris Evert, and so far Sabatini has outsteadied the steady Chris Evert.
It's interesting on the what wind has to do here. There's wind swirling a little bit, and on a couple of those shots, I think Chris not quite knowing how close she can play to that line. Just testing it out.
Sabatini's performance in the first 2+ games much superior than what I saw last night.
Sabatini sees a short ball, takes advantage of it, powers the forehand down the line, gets Chris out of position, and then has the easy overhead to take the point.
Love 30.
Wow, Chris down love 30 in this third game of the championship. Winner gets $600,000. The runner-up, $24,000.
I think that's $60,000.
What did I say?
600.
Did I? No,
I'd still be playing for 600.
Yeah, 60,000 is right. Close.
I don't think Chris has found any rhythm yet, do you?
None at all. She's struggling out there, but I've seen her do this so many times.
There's Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain picking up some pointers.
He was here the other day and again yesterday. Loves his tennis.
She pushed it. She didn't get under the ball.
Sabatini has got Chris on the move constantly.
This is the side where Chris had so much trouble with her serve yesterday because the sun is right about where the ball toss is when you go to serve.
Chris Evert. The two-handed backhand down the line.
30-40. Nice forehand cross court. Sabatini hitting that heavy topspin. Chris takes a chance here and goes down the line. It's pretty brave of her, isn't it, Vic?
Well, she had good balance, good position, so she could almost choose what she wanted off a short ball.
By Gabriela Sabatini.
Chris thought the ball was out.
But Sabatini is quick out of the chutes. A 3-love lead over Chris Evert. She's broken Chris twice. The first 3 games.
Yeah, Sabatini's done a great job of mixing the ball up against Chris, and Chris has not found her rhythm yet. She's hitting the slice backhand, she's hitting the top spin looper, she's even coming to net, Vic.
Well, I think that when you're playing this style, if you got any wind, or if you've got to mix somebody up who's topspin, you got to have a good slice serve. Chris does not have that. So Chris has got to play one style of play. And right now, Sabatini's beating her at that style.
One thing about Sabatini, she's not making many mistakes.
On the other side of the coin, Chris is.
Right.
Cannot believe that serve.
You made a comment about Sabatini's serve, Vic Drayton.
Well, she's a tall girl and she's a strong girl and she serves is slower than Chris Evert. And Chris is not famous for her serve. So when you got 2 players out there so strong from the baseline, whoever serves better in this match is going to have some control.
Ran into Peggy Michael a short while ago. She's down with the Grand Champions Hyatt Resort, Indian Wells. Director of tennis marketing down there, and she was making the same point about the service of Gabriela Sabatini.
Look at that.
Sabatini up 4 games to love in the first set.
Angel Jimenez, who is Sabatini's coach, told me before that he's got her in the gym when she's at home in Argentina doing weights to try to bulk up a little bit.
Now the crowd's going to see if they can get back. Give Chris Evert, who is extremely popular here, all of the support. See if they can rally Chris.
I have to say Sabatini's hitting the ball with a lot more authority and a lot more power than she was this time last year, and I think it's due to that rigorous program that Angel has her on. I know he's making her do all sorts of push-ups, and she was on the treadmill all week here at the Manhattan Beach Country Club.
We have talked about Chris Evert and her problems with her service.
The ball toss just seems to waver a bit, especially in this wind. If she doesn't have the ball right in front of her, it gets caught to the left side, and she has a little hitch there. Sometimes can bring doubles.
You can hear Chris yelling, "Yep, that's the salute to a great shot off the racket of Sabatini."
I think I've seen more errors from Chris Evert in the first 4 games this set than I've seen maybe in the last 10 years.
That's quite a statement, Vic. The Chris Evert trademark. 40-15.
Well, she finally hit the ball in front of her that time, Vic. Great serve, pulls Sabatini out of the court, and look at the way she turns her shoulders and leans into that ball. Clean one down the line.
Chris Evert wins her first game. But is it too little, too late, or a budding rally? We'll find out when we return.
Look at her favorite food, angel hair pasta. Paris, France. I know she likes to play at the French Open. She likes those French baguettes there. I always see her mother bringing them into the locker room for her. Sting, her favorite singer. And Andy is her lucky charm, and he's courtside and hopefully sending some good ESP to her today. She needs it, being down 4-1 now.
Chris should like the French Open. She's won it 7 times. Been in the finals 9 times. 7 out of 9 a champion in Paris. Plus it's on play at Roland Garros Stadium.
That's what she was brought up on, the Hartshoe in Florida. Say Hartshoe because that's what they call it in Florida, right, Vic? In Europe, they call it the dirt, the red clay.
But it's neat to play over there and get that red clay in your shoes. You look like a real veteran of the tour.
Good.
Oh, yeah. Way ahead. Sabatini starting to make a few errors.
Chris thought that ball was out. It's a good thing she won the pointer. She may have said something.
She's looking over in the direction of the Lions person.
Well, she needs 2 service breaks. It's a pretty big trick, but boy, I tell you, those Lions people are pretty sharp. That Jan Ryan in the chair's gone through a lot of eye research with us at the center. She knows where you can see it and where you can't.
Now, Vic, when you say the center, expand on that. What do you mean?
Well, we have a sports research center, Kodo Research Center, and we did eye research on players, pro players, umpires, and lines people. Who could see the best?
Actually, Chris sort of had a point to give away.
You never have points to give away, Mike, especially at 4-1. She's fighting to get in there.
Well, that's true.
Gabriela has a nice hitch in her serve here. She tries to keep the elbow up, and in fact, she's been working with Angel Jimenez all week on keeping her elbow up.
What I meant by a point to give away, she might have gone for that, but she wanted to make sure about the next point or the next point down the road.
Sabatini's really playing smart. She's picking her time to come in. She's hitting the big shot and also not afraid to come to the net, Vic. I can't believe it after last night.
Chris with hands on hips, just staring down at the person who made the call. That's Jane Goodman.
It's also probably 3 calls that Chris has given looks at the maybe 2 more than she's ever done in the match. So she's getting a funny start. But usually when you start paying a lot of attention to the lines and the calls, it means you're not feeling too good about yourself, frankly.
It's deuce.
Look out, that's lazy. She didn't move her feet at all.
Didn't get under that ball. It's tough to play a player like Sabatini. I know I played her at the French Open a few years ago, and she hits a lot of topspin, and then she'll throw in that chip backhand. She can come to net. She's a very versatile player with a heck of a future in front of her, that's for sure.
Throws off your timing.
Oh, yeah.
Game to Sabatini. Sabatini was down love 40 and pulls out the game to take a 5-1 lead over Evert.
Kind of a reversal of last night when she was up 40 love, lost the game to Zina Garrison. But Chris and Gabriela both open up the court, but you got to take advantage of the open court, or else just sit back there and play all day.
That's called out.
I think Sabatini learned a thing or two from Zina Garrison last night, who was coming to net a lot, and especially on the important points, putting pressure on her, and that's exactly what Sabatini's doing to Chris.
I think this crowd is pulling so hard for Chris. Even the close shots, they're moaning about, even though they're out.
She mishit serve, that serve terribly.
Tough sun right now for Chris. Ooh, that sort of took a hop into her body. Again, the point that you made, Ann White, about the difficulty of the shots by Sabatini in trying to get your timing, your rhythm down.
They're shoulder level. They're not waist level where most players are. The top spinners. It's tough to handle. You've got to get the ball out in front.
Andy charting that as if to say, that's your best shot, and it has been. That's what this sellout crowd here at the Manhattan Country Club in Manhattan Beach, California, came out to see.
You talk about using all of the court here. Gabriela on the run. Chris lobbing over her head. I thought she was going to try the between the legs, but it was too important of a point. Throws the lob up. Chris now goes back for the overhead. And hits a fine place shot cross court. Gabby can't get to it. Best point of the match so far. Chris having trouble with that sun.
After being down love 30, Chris has it 40-30. From the ad court, it's a tough toss and a tough serve with the sun.
Ooh, Chris is working on her back, stretching out a little bit. She
noticed that.
Something's going on here.
Like she's not loose. Evert pulls it out. 5-2 Sabatini over Chris Evert. The finals of the $300,000 Virginia Slims of Los Angeles. There's the newest member of the Kings with his wife Janet, Wayne Gretzky, who they tell me is a pretty good tennis player. I remember playing Rogie Vachon once in a celebrity tournament over in Las Vegas, and Rogie, being left-handed, he turned out to be a tough foe. Sabatini trying to serve out this first set. Nice touch.
She's sticking with her game plan. Chris with the return. Sabatini coming in big topspin cross court. Gets Chris out of position and has the open court for the easy drop volley.
15 off.
Sabatini mixing it up well, throwing in the chip short, hitting the topspin deep. She's really done well to keep Chris off her rhythm.
Actually, Chris had plenty of time there, and still she stumbled. So something's going on with her. She's not comfortable at all playing today, in my opinion.
Pinpoint precision by Evert.
30 off.
Has Sabatini full stretch off the court. Comes in down the line, hits the line. Nice placement by Chris Evert.
No break for Chris.
40, 30.
Sabatini just 1 point away from winning the first set over Chris Evert.
Yes.
Now it's Sabatini's turn to be bothered by that sun angle. First double fault in the match.
Advantage Evert.
I couldn't believe Chris didn't come to net on that point. That one ball was so short, way inside the service line, and she completely backed off after she hit it.
And she can really volley, too. She's a super volleyer. But she just doesn't feel comfortable getting up there. Look at that serve. It hit the court almost before the net. Goodness gracious.
Back to deuce.
Chris not staying over that ball. She's letting go early. That's her trademark. Hit, stay with the shot, complete the shot. But on that shot, she lifted her right shoulder, pulled the ball out.
Sabatini hit a deep ball, a deep slice, though. She's really mixing and placing the ball so fine today.
Sabatini ranked number 5 in the world. Women's tennis.
Advantage Evert.
Steffi Graf is number 1. Martina Navratilova 2. Evert is 3. Pam Shriver is 4. Pam lost in the first round of this tournament to a 15-year-old Amy Frazier.
That serve did hit her side of the net before it hit the net.
Chris still not forcing a service return.
And we come up to our third deuce in this, the 8th game of the first set. Sabatini leading 5 games to 2.
Well, we saw a brief appearance by Chris at the net, and she went for too much of an angle there and missed the volley. But she needs to pick the right time to come in order to get back in this first set.
That's wide.
Advantage Evert.
Now, a key point here is that if Chris comes to the net, she's coming to the net against a big topspin hitter, so the ball's dipping at her feet. If Gabriela comes to the net, why I said she'd have a better advantage. Chris is flat. Her ball's on a little straighter line. Makes it a little easier to volley.
Much easier.
Kind of reminds us last night of the match between Garrison and Sabatini. Many times Sabatini had the advantage, yet couldn't get that point to win the game. We had one game last night that went to 8 deuces. We're on our 4th one here.
Advantage Sabatini.
Once again, Vic, Chris not finishing her shot.
Well, you know, there's something going on because, I mean, Gabriela is serving even worse than last night, and Chris still not able to take advantage of it. So,
For as much as she practices her serve, Gabriela, it doesn't seem to be working. She seems to spin the first ball in.
Back to deuce. Now, Vic, when you say something's going on, you mean there's something physically wrong with Chris?
oh, I think there's either something physically wrong or she just can't get up for it yet. It's not a typical Chris. She has to fight sometimes to get in there, but she's not pushing soft serves around at all.
I don't think she's found her serve yet.
Chris has another advantage.
I think she's finally realizing that she's going to have to come to the net and put some pressure on Gabriela, or else that's what Gabriela's going to do to her.
Well, you can't let somebody throw in a helium ball and then sit back there and know they're not going to be attacked. I mean, that's not a Chris Evert style. You throw a soft ball at Chris and she starts moving you out of the state. Well, you got to want to do that. And Chris doesn't even look like she wants to do that, to me yet.
Chip didn't work.
Remember I was telling you about Chris and getting about 50% of her drop shots?
Big backhand. You see Chris come in here at the last second, tries a drop shot and falls short. Yeah, remember, Vic, it's not the percentage shot to hit.
We're working now on our 6th deuce in this, the 8th game.
Sabatini leading 5-2, first set. Best of 3. Mike Walden and White and Vic Braden with you from Manhattan Beach, California.
Yesterday she played Stephanie Ray, who hits the ball hard and flat. And now with this little slice, like right here that Gabriela hit, you really have to get under the ball, and Chris is just not getting under it to lift it over.
Yeah, and you got to be really wanting it pretty good. Through the match, I'll tell you a little bit about her elbow on the serve. That's Sabatini. Now I'm going to compare her to Steve Grogan of the Boston Patriots for you. Keep an eye on her elbow.
Gabriela's got to be talking to herself after that. Had a chance to win the first set on that volley and dumped it into the net.
Well, you know, when you're volleying at 10.5 feet back, then you'll see that she's got to keep going forward on that volley.
She's right at the service line.
Just behind that. She only gets about a 24-degree angle from that. So slight downhill slightly.
Oh, what a backhand. The 18-year-old from Argentina, Sabatini.
But tactically, a very unwise shot for Chris. You don't go down the line when you're that far out of the court, because now you leave the whole court open going the other way. Plus, the ball's going away from the direction you were previously running. Not a smart shot, not a Chris Evert shot. Chris struggling right now, but she's a champ. She'll find a way to get back.
Sabatini has had 3 set points in a row. Will this be the magic number 4 for her? The answer is no. This is our 8th deuce. Number 8.
Chris knows that if she can get this game, she's right back in this set, because mentally it would give her a lot of confidence to break Sabatini and get back in the set.
Sabatini's got to be saying, I went through this last night against Garrison. Here comes Chris to the net. Missed the volley.
She was 1 shot too late. She should have come in on the cross-court backhand, Vic.
And she stops the volley rather than going forward. You've got to go forward.
She has her all the way out of the court, and then decides to come in on this ball down the line. And she stops. You're right there. She was almost in no man's land when she hit that volley. Got to go forward.
Here comes Chris again. Sabatini to win the game and the first set. Sabatini 6-2 over Chris Evert.
Sabatini a little hot there, going to towel off. As you see the replay here, excellent lob by Sabatini. A lot of topspin. Chris thinks she can hit the overhead, then has to run back and try to play it, and hits the ball down because she saw Sabatini was on her way to the net there.
Jack Kramer used to always